I know I could go on and on. All right, let's do this. You and I, it's funny, Kim. We always come up with these topics. Like it's always best, I think, when we come up with these topics sort of in the moment as we are
Hmm.
seeing things and dealing with things rather than scheduling them and organizing them. I don't know what it was that sparked it. I know for me, I saw a listing and we're going to show it later, but I saw a listing come up and I was like, all right, this is enough. Like the AI, it's enough. We got to actually
Hmm.
stop using it and faking it. And I didn't think you feel the
Yeah.
same way, right?
Yeah.
Tell me how you feel right now about this.
The two things that you had just seen that listing, and then I had done comps, and we'll talk about both of these things like in more detail, but I had just finished doing comps for a house where I was fooled by an AI image. Like I'll get into the details later. But so I
Yeah.
had been duped, and then you saw something that made you question yourself. And then I actually, and we'll get into this one later too, because this is a fun one. And this will be the category of like, do not do these things in your real estate career and admit that they were AI. And even if you shouldn't even be doing them via AI, let alone admitting they were AI. But we had a title company that answered a question
Oh
to a
God. Yeah.
buyer using AI and not facts, and it was wrong information. So um,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay.
So I think we got a lot. And the funny thing is, I might be going on and on when you're done at 5 o'clock and you have to leave for a listing appointment. Um, Here's how I want to start this though. One, this is not a complain about AI session. We're not going to sit here. We're not here complaining about AI because I think we're foolish if we don't comprehend that AI as a technology and how we can use it is not something that's going away and it shouldn't. So I don't want anybody thinking that we're sitting here complaining about it, but it's also, on the other hand, not an AI prompt class. Like we're
Yeah.
not going to
I
be
think
sitting here.
this is more of a when to use it, when not to use it, how to use it. Like it should supplement your advice and career and everything else, not replace. Um,
Yeah, so we had some thoughts around this that I wrote down. First of all, I want to be honest about this too, guys. This is like a forum. Like I want to talk about the how we can honestly use it, but more importantly, I think we should be honest about how the consumer is actually viewing what we're actually doing. Like we do all these things out of like excitement or that other agents are doing it. And I think as consumers, we're annoyed by half of the stuff that agents are doing and that we find ourselves sometimes doing. And we're complaining about other people doing it and not realizing that actually is the same exact thing. And so I want to look in the mirror and realize the consumer is what we actually care about when it comes to the messaging that we're doing and how we're using it, not ourselves and how we think we should use it. So here's what I wrote down: why we should have AI and how we should use it. So the first thing I thought about is generally when I'm trying to use it, I'm trying to think about it as having like an assistant literally sitting right next to me.
mhm.
That it should be a person who's an assistant, not someone who's taking your responsibilities, but someone who's actually sitting next to you, but they just happen to have a ton of skills that you don't have. And by sitting next to you, you can tell them, hey, I want you to do this and I want you to do this,
Yep.
but you're next to them doing it.
Yeah. Like the
So
person that you would say, hey, I'm writing this email to the client. Does this sound too rude? Can you look at it?
yes.
Yeah.
And we're working through with it. And literally every time we use it, I believe we should literally envision. I wrote down, you should feel like you have an assistant sitting beside you, not a replacement pretending to be you.
Can
And
I
yeah, do it. Let's
expand
do
on
it.
it? So really timely, like this is complete irony. One of my favorite people in Keller Williams is Liz Landry. If you guys don't know her, she pretty much like runs a lot of stuff, maps, coaching, things like that. And she's just a very skilled Keller Williams coach. So she posted, let me find it. It was literally this morning. And I was like, oh my God, what are the odds? This is so timely. Let's see if I can find it. Um, oh man, did she put it? Where'd she put it? Okay, here we go. Can I read this real quick? Are you good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So she said, this is long, so bear with me. I'll paraphrase maybe. So she started saying last week she attended masterminds in Austin, Texas, 3 full days masterminding with Gary Keller, Jason Abrams, Jay Papasan, and the hot topic each day was AI. How do you integrate it into your business? How do you use it effectively? And some best practices for implementation. implementation rather. So she said, AI can produce some amazing content and become an incredible form of leverage for business, but I also see so many people struggling with it, wondering why someone else is getting drastically better results than they are. And that's when it hit me. Using AI is just like developing your next hire. Hear me out. If you open ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever your preferred is, and ask a generic question like, get me data on recent sales in XYZ area, you'll get exactly that, data. If you then ask it to write a short Facebook post about that data, it will do it, but it will likely be generic, off tone for you, and look like the rest of the world's AI slop. Is it technically content? Sure, but is it accomplishing the goal you wanted? Probably not. Now compare that to this. I want to create more value for my followers on social media. One of the ways I'd like to do that is by providing recent sales data for the area I serve. The goal is to drive interaction, create calls to action for people who may be interested in buying or selling a home in the next 6 months. Those two prompts will generate entirely different outcomes. The first is task driven. The second is outcome driven. One asks for execution. The other provides context, purpose, and desired results. Turns out talking to AI is a lot like talking to your team. When leaders only communicate tasks, they get basic execution. When leaders communicate outcomes, context, purpose, they empower people to think, make decisions, and provide better results. Your AI tool is no different. The quality of the outcome is tied to the quality of the direction. Maybe the lesson isn't about becoming better at AI, it's about becoming better communicators. I thought that was like
that
so
literally
good.
it's exactly the right message at the right time. It's like, how do you feel when you're reading AI? So how are the consumer going to feel that when you're using it? And by the way, like they notice it and they see it. Man, it's like a perfect message for what we're hitting home with like right now. Like, does she go further into it? Or does anybody comment?
That's her whole post. Well, every time she posts, hundreds of people comment. But so her comments were, I love the comparison in relation to prompting with intention. Funny how the human we are inclined to be will show up everywhere. Boom, the lesson is to become a better communicator. This is a great breakdown. Thank you for clarity. Yeah.
So you know what I'm translating from that? Like it's not so, like we're all using it to like make it to save time. I actually think if you ask somebody or like, why do you use AI or why are you using it? Why do people use it? It's always to save time. The reality is it shouldn't in the initial phases of using it. If you're doing it the right way, it's not going to save time because in the same way that she says you're hiring somebody, when you hire a brand new hire that doesn't know your brand on day one, that doesn't know your business and how you work and you know when you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed at night, like when you show up in the office, like on day one that assistant isn't going to know you. And what is your job? It's to always communicate to your assistant everything about you and everything about what your passions are, everything about whatever it is. The more they know about you, if they're your just a personal assistant, how much more are they going to need to know about you? And that's how we should be using, say, ChatGPT or whatever you're using. You should be using it like, okay, on day one, they don't know me. So how am I going to ask them to communicate something if they don't know me? So, all right, so let's start with this because I think what that actually means is that you actually have to have the right motivation around using it. Because the way she communicated is if you have the right motivation, you actually want it to communicate you and you're going to speak to it in a way that says, no, that doesn't sound like me, and you're going to fix it. It means you're actually going to have to speak to it kind of like you do your spouse. Hey, this is the way I want to be talked to, or this is the way I communicate, or like I literally will sit in ChatGPT to talk about whatever I'm working on. And after 5 years of working in it, I say, I want you to sound more like Adam. And if I ask what that means, it will literally define over 5 years of me putting in there who I am. So the first thing that I wrote down after I talked about making it an assistant is saying that you actually have to make it create more human connection and genuine connection, not fake connection. And you're not going to do that by telling your assistant, send an email to all my personal people on day one. Just like you shouldn't have ChatGPT on day one that doesn't know you start communicating an email on your behalf because it's not going to create a connection with you. It's going to create a connection with some AI bot, right?
Mm-hmm.
What like everybody in the group, when you see fake AI messaging, do you feel a deeper connection with the person sending it to you, or do you immediately see it and know it? Who has
I
some thoughts around
immediately
it?
see it. I have a good example for this. I had a landscaper come to my house, and the quote he gave me felt so chat GPT'd that I was like, I don't even know that he, like, I think chat GPT made promises about what they were going to do to my yard that he didn't actually intend to make, because there were like very bold statements like, we're going to get this 100% spotless, perfect, blah, 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 blah. Then he came out, he did the work, and the work he did not match his chat GPT quote. And I was like, what happened to like 100% spotless, like blah, 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 blah. And he had a bunch of excuses, and then he went from like his tone of his excuses, just like quick on the fly, to a clearly chat GPT like F you kind of, I'm not
Yep.
coming back to fix this. And I was like, okay, so you don't have the time to even communicate with me, you're just telling chat GPT like, how do I get this woman off my case, because I don't feel like coming back to fix my mistakes. That like, if he would have actually read the quote he sent me, because it was the emojis and the bullet points and the
Yep.
breakdown, and it was
Dashes.
so chat GPT. Like a landscaper did not write this. And and I was thinking to myself, like, if he would have given me a quote himself, it probably wouldn't have made it seem like he was going to get things to the level that chat GPT, like chat GPT oversold him. And then so like instantly it's like you just know you're not even dealing with him as a human anymore. He's just going to keep telling AI to find a way to brush me off.
Yeah. And he hasn't spent any time even working on how he's communicating it. Like in reality, what is the likelihood? I love that we're talking about the landscaper. Let's do this. We're not going to talk about real estate agents, even though the reality is what that landscaper did is what 99, like so many real estate agents are doing today, which is saying to ChatGPT, give me this output, and then not even reading the output, like
Mm-hmm.
not even reading the output, not even reading the message, just saying, I'm going to cut and paste and put it in. And we see it. We're all seeing it every day. Like literally now, it got to the point where we're seeing it in social media content. We're seeing it on emails. We're seeing, and now we're actually not believing anything at all anymore. So if you think about it, like really, guys, when I talked about personal relationships that we're trying to connect, you have a harder time than you ever had before because of AI. There's a harder time because no one ever would think that anything you were doing is fake 5, 10 years ago. They would have been like, yeah, that email was by that person. Now
Mm-hmm.
they're going to judge every single thing that you see and wonder, did they write it? Did they not write it? Am I really talking to that person? And literally, I know Jackie knows this. We literally, I'm going to stuff on social media content where I'm like, oh my God, look, that's so cute. And you're like, wait a second.
It's fake.
That's not a real baby. That's
Yeah.
a fake baby or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. And if we're so now like we're judging everything, man, we're in trouble if we're not actually personalizing it while we're using it. If we're
Yeah.
not going, yeah, this Adam. And if it's not me, by the way, just so like everybody knows, a ton of my messaging, I'm using Chat GPT. But when I do it, I read it. I look through it. I go, it doesn't sound like me. I go back into it. I work with it like I'm sitting with my assistant and saying, you need to know me better. You're not
Yeah.
knowing me
I
better.
I like to use it for like I will write the email and then I will say,
Yes.
is this, is this
Proofread it.
conveying the exactly like, or I really want to get the point across that like I used it for a team member had a client who was not happy with the outcome of something and was kind of being difficult. And so I wanted to like basically say, these are all the things we did to support you and make the situation right, but we realize you're never going to be happy. So, like this is the extent of what we're going to do for you. And I just kind of was like, say it in a way where we're, not necessarily taking blame for something. We're acknowledging she's not happy. And these are the things we did to fix it, but she's never going to be happy. So how do I get her to just realize like this is the end of the road? Please accept what we've done and let's move on without being rude.
When I said earlier, the greatest assistant you've ever had, that's what it can be for you. Because it literally can be a person who's a marketing person for you or a person who's a communications person for you. Like what you just did was a proofreader. You have the greatest proofreader all time. You go, okay, I wrote it myself, but I want to make sure the grammar's right, that this is right. I want to make sure it conveys the right message. And now I'm using it as a proofreader. Like literally, but it should be the greatest assistant that's working with you. And the good news for me now is because I've been working with my assistant, say, for 5 years, now I can say to it, I don't have to say it 5 times, stop doing this or don't do this, or I don't want to communicate in this way because I'm using it. So what Liz Landry said there, one of the lines she said there was the person was asking themselves, why is that person successful using AI and I'm not? That was one of the things I heard that you said there. And the answer is because the one person's actually using it like it's their personal assistant and the other one's trying to replace themselves and save time. That's the difference.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I have. Let's talk about the positives. I like doing positives first, and we're not going to talk about hows, but I have some things of what are the positive ways you can use AI for the ultimate goal of deeper connection. Like literally, if you've listened to me speak or been around me anytime, literally the experience has to be personal. And every time I use ChatGPT or every time I use it, I literally need to know that it's personal when I'm doing it, that it's as personal as I can make it. And so what I want to do is start with how can we use it to keep it personal, actually to make the personal even more, like make it more personal, like not even have anybody thinking that it's fake or that it's like, okay, do I have to question whether this is actually Adam? So the first one that I had is one, to be more present. So using AI, let's just start right now. If you guys noticed, Fathom is in this group. There's a Fathom AI tool. I use Fathom AI for every meeting that I have. Every single meeting I have, I use Fathom AI because Fathom takes, and it won't let me miss the littlest details that people tell me in my meetings. But I don't just cut and paste Fathom notes. No, I take the Fathom recording and I go into ChatGPT and I say, all right, I met with Kim, but I want to really make sure I connect with her. Take all the personal things out of this meeting that just happened and show me how I can connect with her personally. Get her birthday, get this, get any personal message. Oh, then by the way, get the criteria for her home search, send that to me. And I can literally compile all the messaging with the greatest assistant who was in the meeting with me, who was like, yeah, you met with them last week. And by the way, it's their birthday. Here's a reminder. Like it's a great assistant, not a replacement for me. It allows me to stay.
That line,
go for it.
Do you know, have you heard about Claude?
No, I have not, but let's do this. I love this. What do we got? Claude?
Oh, Stan has a Claude. See, hold that up again, Stan. Show everyone what it looks like.
I love it.
Yeah.
It is a game changer. I just started it 2 weeks ago through my coaching program. And it's a game changer for when I meet with my clients. Build out a GPT that gives me all of those things that I just take those notes. It'll give me my realtor email after my meeting. It gives me a summary to my clients, back to them, what I heard, and ask them to check, make sure I didn't miss anything. And then it gives me a text and a few other things. And then I also have underwriting notes that are built out from that I can upload in my system right away. It literally saves me an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah, so it's a device that, and there's a bunch of them. So there's like one you can get that looks like a credit card that like attaches to your phone.
Okay,
case.
yes, all right.
Then there's ones that are like wearable, and
right,
like you could have it on like a necklace.
So it records all of your conversations, is that, or the conversations you want to record?
Yep. But then, but it's not just recording it and then giving you a recap. I think like the advantage to it is you can tell it stuff you want to listen for. So like he just said, underwriting notes. So like if they said they have a house to sell or they just got a new job or like whatever, you can have it like template out like, okay, these things go under the things that I have to make sure I don't forget to tell the underwriter versus these things, like you just said, if they mention their birthday, okay, make sure that you pull the birthday from the conversation and put it like in my CRM or whatever. Like, so it's like taking and doing stuff with the information that it hears.
It basically sounds like it brings Fathom on the road with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It brings it on the road and it actually goes further and deeper into it. Actually, I saw a commercial, I think, for this, or I'm sure I got inundated with it the moment I started talking about anything AI or Fathom anywhere in the world. And I love this because you can use it in showings. You can sit there and go, okay, take what the buyer talked about. And by the way, everybody goes, well, that's terrible. Like you're recording. No, you're telling your clients, hey, I have this thing. I use it to make sure I get to know you. And it's a positive thing. We cannot be looking negative. By the way, can you put the link for that? If we have a link for it, please put it in here. If not, we'll get it over. Stan, if you could send it over, that'd be great. By the way, I want to ask Rebecca, just so you guys know, Rebecca teaches a class on using AI. And it's funny because I did this so inappropriately. 3:20 at 3:20 Eastern time. I said, "Hey, Rebecca, you want to jump on at 4 o'clock to talk about using AI?" When I know she literally teaches a class on how to personalize the relationship. So I want to give you some time to actually chime in on anything we've said so far, Rebecca. This is someone, by the way, everybody should listen up and follow her because she absolutely loves talking about using AI in a way that actually connects with people, not fake. So give me your thoughts already, Rebecca.
Well, thank you. And I do. I am really passionate about AI and keeping the human first. And one thing I want to just bring to light is like, even as the conversation started, it was very much like, there's the difference between tasks and the difference between using AI intentionally. And yet the conversation drifted back to tasks and how we can use it to help us with automation, how we can help us with remembering things. And it's so part of the conditioning that we have as, oh my gosh, AI is here as a tool to help support us. And what I love to challenge and kind of more controversial is actually using AI to lead ourselves, like lead us. And so where in our business are we spending time negatively? Where are we not showing up as the strongest leaders? Where can we start using AI to enhance and pressure test thoughts, pressure test processes? The example of the landscaper, like my immediate thought is when I see people that are using AI, it like hurts my soul. Like it breaks my heart because I'm like, nobody has shown you that this isn't a Google search engine. Nobody has shown you how to appropriately communicate. And so when I see it, I'm like, how can I lead? How can I show the type of relationship and leadership that I want my brand to be recognized with? So I would literally take that and be like, how could I be a good business partner and say, hey, I noticed you're using AI and this wasn't intentional, et cetera, and start understanding human psychology from a different level. Because if we can understand behaviors, patterns, psychology, we will then tailor our presentations, our approach, our processes to us, but from a very human standpoint. Because yes, if you type in, give me the market stats for whatever county, it will do that. And it will probably have errors and it will probably be really, really bad information. But if you were like, hey, these are my people. I speak directly to single moms who are 45 to 55, who are looking for neighborhoods and blah, blah, like whatever it is. And then also it's tools. So that's another thing. I really hate when people are like, whatever tool you use. That's a disservice to all of us because there are very intentional tools, and Chat and Claude are going to give you different answers. Chat and Gemini are going to give you different answers. Perplexity and Claude. And if you aren't leading yourself as the business owner and understanding what assistant to bring in, you're not going to bring a landscaper for photography. You're not going to bring a videographer for lending. Okay. So it's like the same thing with AI. Like the tools are there for a reason. And if we're just putting everything in ChatGPT and hoping for the best, we're not using what's available for us. So that's kind of my 2 cents.
I love this. I know you have so much more with it. I was thinking about something when you said this. We use it to save time, right? Everybody talks about using it to save time or save time on tasks and tools and the things you said. You know what? If we looked in the mirror, you know what you don't want your clients thinking? You know what you don't want your clients thinking? That you're using the tool to save yourself time. In fact, the best way we can actually use it is if our clients are like, oh my God, thank you so much for putting so much time into what you did for me, because they never think that you used AI to do it and save yourself time. If you're using it the right way, then they feel like you put way too much time into them. And you're like, oh my God, look how much time they put in. And if you're not using the right tool, you're just looking fake. And now they're like, just all the fake stuff, all I read in the fake stuff just is telling me that they didn't want to put the time and effort into it. They didn't want to even actually remotely think about me. But when you actually do it the right way, it's how they're visualized. How are they looking at it? Are they looking at it like, oh my God, how in the world can you do all of that and still juggle me? That's not even possible. No one can juggle me and all of that. And you're like, I have the best assistant ever. And what you're saying right there is maybe you need 3 assistants. Maybe you need a special, like I said earlier, I made a mistake. Like it's the best, greatest assistant of all time. It's your marketing person, it's your communications, but you just told me I was completely wrong. In fact, no, I mean, because AI should be an assistant. Well, I'm wrong in the fact that it's not ChatGPT. It's AI should be the greatest assistant. And if you need 2 of them, you might need 3 of them. The good news, everybody, is you don't have to hire 4 people now. You can actually work in it, and you can have a team meeting with nothing but AI, and you can actually get more done by using the technology. But I love what you said this. It leads with you. How are you making it direct you to do what you want? If I was a person that wanted to grow my company, what would I do is what you should be doing in AI, not how can I get these quick tasks done fast. Is that what you're saying?
Totally. And I also think that, like, when we think about using AI to its fullest, it's also, we have our own limitations. So if you're ever questioning something, or if you're ever like, is this beneficial for me and my business? You can absolutely just ask it. And like, you can ask, like, is this going to be impactful for my business? Is this going to be impactful for this client?
Can I pause you there though, real quick? I want to pause you real quick, and I don't want to cut you off, but it matters though that you put how you want to do your business and how you want your business to be before you ask, is this good for my business? No, you actually have to spend 5 years teaching it what you want your business to be and you want your brand to be, because then you can go to it and go, is this good for my business? And it will tell you an answer you can rely on, not, oh, I listened to it, so I keep going.
Yeah, no, totally. And there's even ways to ramp up. So not everybody has 5 years. And so you could literally say, hey, in the next 7 days, I want to schedule 15, 20 minutes a day with you. So that way you can ask me questions and get to know my business, my brand, my mission, my vision, my values, my clients. And then it will ask you questions. It will ask you about your vibe. And the more you speak to it, not type, the faster it will start picking up on nuances. It will start noticing if you say a lot, or if you're pausing a lot, it will say, hey, you don't sound really confident here. Maybe there's an opportunity for us to tap deeper into X, Y, Z based on how you're speaking. It will analyze you as a speaker as well. So if you're preparing for a presentation, preparing for whatever, a consultation, it will catch like, oh, hey, when you said this, your tone dropped and you just lost credibility. So it will be a really great mirror. And it will also, if you know, and you've done the upfront information about your client, you can say, hey, my client's a high D, very analytical. They prefer this. They follow these types of trends. They're affluent, have this education. And my personality. So now take my personality and make me a great match for this person, so I win the appointment. So
I think everybody needs to spend an hour a day building a relationship with your AI tool. If you want it to do the work in a way that builds the business you want to do it, then guess what? You got to build a relationship with it. It's funny, Jackie's saying you got to talk to the AI bot, and I feel like there's certain times where I'll be talking to it and Jackie will be like, are you talking to me? And I'm like, no, I'm not talking to you. But it's
just
funny,
be
and it's
not to build the relationship that some people have built where they've married them. Don't take
that actually is a movie. They actually made a movie like a long time ago, and then all of a sudden we're actually getting to that point now. It's like Joaquin Phoenix did a movie called Her. That literally is
like hop off just because I have that other appointment, so I've got to go.
We're going to do a whole nother session with you when you come back. I love you very much. Thank you very much.
So great connecting. Bye.
Thank you. All right. So here's some couple other things. I want to get to some of the fun parts of our storytelling with the negative side of it a little bit, so we can see what we're doing wrong. But I do want to run through a couple other thoughts I had around the positives of using it. Using it as a note taker. I already said that. Ideas. I don't know if ideating is a word, but ideas. It literally can come up, generate brainstorm ideas and how you want to do things. It generates content ideas, organizes thoughts, but they're your stories. They need to be your personality, your opinions, and your experiences. It cannot be just what they tell you it is. It actually has to interject you into it. I said save time behind the scenes. That's actually another way of saying your clients need to feel like when I say save time, we always need to say behind the scenes. We don't, it's funny, we're doing behind the real estate curtain, but it literally is We need them to feel like it's just behind the scenes that we're working. They don't need to know, like, I know Melissa's with me, the team owner. We have like amazing admin, great people that work behind the scenes. They don't need to know when they're meeting with us as clients right away that it's a million people taking care of it. But we need to know that time's being saved from behind the scenes, not for them. They don't need to feel like, oh, you're just saving yourself time. All right. Best analogy, you should feel like an assistant. All right. You want to get to negatives? Let's get to some negatives. We got a half hour in. Let's talk about how we're using it the wrong way. We all see fake messaging, right? Let's say texting is a starting point. Why are we automating responses in text messages that are not personal? So messaging we're using the wrong way. Talk about this. How are we using it the wrong way? Kimberly.
Well, I mean, like we said before, anything that just doesn't feel personal, it feels fake, it feels auto response generated, so I was thinking the other day, I'm hiring a VA for like part-time for social media, and I was like, how can I utilize her, whatever. And I was going back and forth between using AI and using an actual VA. And I started thinking about, like, when you message or like a business and you get like immediately that like automated, like, thanks so much for liking our page, blah, blah, blah. Like, that was automated, so you ignore it, right? But then I had like a physical therapist that I liked his page because he was posting some stuff about like herniated discs, and it showed up in my feed or whatever. And so I liked his page. It wasn't immediate. It was like the next day or 2 days later, and I got a message from him, and it was like, hey, saw you liked my page, are you experiencing a disc issue now? That's why a lot of people come to me, I'm happy to help customize a plan, whatever. But it wasn't fake. It was like a real conversation.
And it also didn't happen the moment you clicked on the thing.
Yeah.
The next thing popped right up.
And like I messaged him back and I was like, yeah, I hurt my back in January and I'm still in pain. And then he gave me some tips. And like, I was thinking like that's the type of thing that you don't necessarily want to automate with AI because it's obvious versus having a person, so for like our team page, we had thought about, do we automate, like someone likes the page, do they get something automated? They're going to ignore that. And then there's a girl in our office who talked at our last team meeting, and she was like, every single person that likes my page, I send a personal message back. And I just say like, hey, thanks for liking my page. Are you looking for, are you considering buying a house, whatever? Like, I'm a real person, but it's not fake. Like, it's not the second it comes through. And she's messaging them and she's like, I get so much business from people then engaging with me. So I think that's a good example of a person actually typing it out. Now it could be like a templated response that doesn't have to be, they don't have to be like creating on the fly, but like it's still a human being typing it and engaging versus a automated response that comes 1 second after you like the page, that then when that person responds, now there's no response back. So clearly you're not having like a two-way conversation.
I love this. So the wrong way is an automated response that is literally, even if it sounds personal, because the moment you click the button, something came back, is the wrong way. And so we're not saying everybody here has to send a personal video message to everybody that follows you on social media and everything has to be you typing it out and you doing it. What Kim said there was a few days later or sometime later, she got a message that felt personal, okay? That it could have been more AI used. You can use AI to say, I want to send a message. And by the way, I have a standard message that I send to people that follow me on Instagram, but I want to personalize this one to Kim that says one little thing. You're using the technology, you're saving yourself time, but the consumer's view of it is not immediately what we all have the same view of, which is, yeah, that's not them. I'm not going to, even if they're great people, even if they're great services, the moment something happens automatically that is not personal, they're going to move on past you pretty quickly. I actually, it's funny. I'm not going to say who it is, but some of you will know who this is because we all got an email today. Everybody in one company or another, one company got an email today about a class that's upcoming about marketing. And it's ironic, I'm not going to show it, but it was an AI marketing class that this person's traveling around the world teaching, maybe the country. I don't know if he's going around the world, but he's teaching AI marketing. And I really, truly believe that the last word you should be using when you're teaching AI marketing is automation. That you shouldn't be saying, come learn how to do automated marketing with me to build your real estate career. And even if you are using some automation, it's not the predominant focus of what we should be creating in our business. And you want to know the one Liz Landry is talking about, the ones that are saying, why is it not working for me? Is because they've automated so much that no one believes anything's ever you. And even if you're great at what you do and you have great clients who love you, the only people that know you are the people that actually have met you in person. And everybody else doesn't actually know who you are.
Well, and to be fair for that, it's like if someone was going to do nothing, the automated stuff is probably still better than doing nothing, right? But it's still not personal. So you're not attracting necessarily the people you want to attract. People that don't know you, that might believe it's real, you might get something from it, but it's just not going to be as effective as if you actually put some thought into it yourself.
Effort, just effort. Like what do we want from the people that we are going to trust with big things in our life? What do we want? We want effort. If I'm hiring an attorney, I don't want automation in their responses, and I don't want some automated canned response for someone that I'm going to trust. I don't need an attorney, Jackie. Hopefully I don't need an attorney anytime soon. Jackie, you're still happy? Yes, Jackie's still happy. But like, there's a way to use it, and then there's a way to completely throw it away. Like, you throw yourself away and your whole opportunity is thrown away. And I just don't think automated marketing is the way to build a business in real estate anymore. I mean,
well,
I think
okay, so now that
again,
you have used the example of an attorney, let's jump to my title company experience.
Yes, let's do it. Tell the story. I love
we
this.
can all agree a title company is an important person in a transaction, right?
That gets no credit most of the time.
The person from the title company, we should have faith that they have accurate answers to things and actually are knowledgeable of the municipalities that they're doing the title work for, and like finances and how things are broken. Like, these are very important things. And so we had a difficult buyer who was asking a lot of questions of the title clerk. And at one point they responded saying something about the sewer easement as if it was Levittown, and it was the Lower Bucks Joint Municipal Sewer Easement, which some people may or may not know about, but it's a very township specific thing. And Lower Bucks Joint Municipal is the sewer company that if you have this sewer company, there's this easement inspection that has to happen. You have to get like sheds and trees and everything off of this easement that's the back 10 feet of the property. The house was in Feasterville, which is Bucks County Water Sewer, not Lower Bucks Joint Municipal. They answered a question of the buyer, causing him a lot of panic and concern that the sewer easement inspection for Lower Bucks Joint Municipal hadn't been completed by the seller, and they were still waiting on it back to see if there were any easement violations. He's like, what is this? I'm supposed to close tomorrow. And I'm like, this is Feasterville. That's not Lower Bucks Joint Municipal. And we asked the title clerk where she got this information, and she said, I wasn't sure who the sewer company was, so I put it in ChatGPT. This is the title company.
It's like the worst thing they could have been saying to you too. Like, not
she
only did I
said
get it
she
wrong,
had the wrong
horribly.
information. She should not have said she ChatGPT'd the sewer authority. This is literally her job. She should not be relying on AI to do her job.
Replacing her.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, it's also a good thing to hear about this because it means we're not going to be relying on it to replace them, because we really do need those title people getting to the details for our clients. That's like, we think about this, we got to use it for communication. We want to use it for marketing. We want to use it for actually being a professional, actually using it in our business itself. So what are we using it for? Okay, so in communications, the wrong way. We talked about it. Like text messaging and automated, wrong way. Marketing, I got to get to that next. But what you just talked about is the usage of it.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem.
Like factual things.
So problem. Like when you're using it in communication wrong, you're going to get less opportunities. That can hurt you. That's whatever. When you're using it in marketing wrong, well, you could actually get in trouble, and your client can get in trouble. But when you're using it the wrong way as a professional, and you're using it to replace you as the professional, then those are the people that Liz Landry, you're talking about why they're struggling. Mm-hmm. But when you're using it to make yourself a superhero And when you get your time back, it's behind the scenes and you're using it to be a professional, not to replace yourself. That's different. But when you can, like that woman, like she shouldn't be in the business. She should quit right now because you're using it to replace yourself. Well, guess what? You just did. Like we're going to be replacing you with something or somebody else. And that's harsh. I want to talk about marketing. And I know you got to leave at 15 minutes. And man, I got to get to you. I don't, even if we go long, I got to spend some time talking about listing agents. And so I'm not bad talking you, Kim, but I'm going to talk bad about listing agents for a minute now. As a buyer agent, my frustration is growing. So I'm going to voice some of my frustration as a buyer representative on all the listing agents, because years ago, I actually didn't mind when we started staging homes virtually and using it for listing appointments. I didn't mind that. I actually don't mind it. Maybe you can give the visual of it. It gives a little disappointing when you get to a house and the buyer didn't quite understand that the furniture is not there, but that's not hard to get over. And I think it's not a terrible idea and it's positive for the sellers, but it is getting out of hand. And what I saw the other day, I feel like I'm going to show it. I'm actually highlighting a listing that's actually real. And it is what it is because it's public. It's on Zillow. So it is what it is. So I'm going to show everybody what I see. And I'm wondering what everybody else thinks about this. I want to know if you guys are seeing this, but let me share it because it couldn't be a better example of what I think is trash that's going to hurt us big time. If I can get to it. I thought I had it up perfectly, but I didn't. Here we go. Let's look at this listing. Normal listing, right? Nice house on Lake Arrowhead. Anybody wants to buy this, by the way, come talk to me. I have a place down right around the corner from this, and it's a beautiful listing. Anybody start to notice a little AI happening here? Okay, right? The sky is beautiful, awesome. Those people, not real.
They have
not real
fingers, probably. Okay,
not a problem. No big deal. I don't care. They're showing the lifestyle living in the house. By the way, listing photos with people in it in 20 years in real estate, I've actually never seen one listing photo with people actually enjoying the space. And so it's not the end of the world. This isn't a bad thing. You're showing people using the space. Oh man, you got people in the hot tub. That's wonderful because you're not going to get a picture of me in the hot tub. So you might as well replace it with fake people. No big deal. And by the way, the sun's coming down. It does look that beautiful. It's gorgeous. And it's a dream view when the sun's coming down. I don't have a hot tub, but it is look like that. So I don't even hate this. It's not a problem. Same thing. No problem. It's gorgeous, completely fake, but that's okay. No real people, but the space is real. Again, that's cute. By the way, it's a sun that bothers me because it would be with my daughter, but that does look a little bit like Ethan and Ben, kind of fishing, and probably actually looks a lot like that. Even this, look, they're enjoying the time. It's wonderful. I'm going to keep going. All of this not real. By the way, not real here either. And that's okay. Let me get to it. I'm going to keep going. Everybody looking, it's all normal house. And then we got to this.
Does this exist?
That house, they built that like 3 years ago. I had no idea that this house had an absolutely gorgeous indoor pool. That's crazy. Wait a second. Is that the garage? Oh man, they got a movie theater too? Wait, is that the garage? Literally movie theater.
You spend $300,000, you can have all of these things.
So, and this is not the first time I've seen this. Like last week, I saw a listing in our area that had the backyard completely renovated into, I don't know, you guys see Lucas Lagoons, a TV show where a guy makes pools and they're $400,000, $500, maybe $1 million pools.
That was my example.
Yes.
That was the one that tricked me. I was doing comps.
It's probably the same house. Probably the same house.
I think it was. I was doing, it was in Doylestown. I was doing comps for my Fox Chase listing at the time. And they have a in-ground pool in Doylestown. And so I was sending them comps to help price the house. And one of the things I was looking at was, does this house have a pool? Does it not have a pool when I was comparing? And I sent them one and I was getting ready to send it to them to say, you know, this one's very similar to yours and it has the same, you know, kind of pool and backyard that you have. And then I was like, wait a second, because there was another angle of the backyard where I didn't see the pool. And then I was like, is the pool like on the side? Is it in the side yard? And then I was looking again and they didn't even have a disclaimer. And I realized the pool does not exist. And then only in agent remarks did they have a sentence that said, pool is to give you an example of what you could do with the backyard, you know, if you were to install a pool. And I was like, okay, I was about to say like, this is a good comp for us. Well, no, it's not, because we have the $100,000 pool and they don't. They have nothing in the backyard, but all of the images of their backyard are fake.
Like, I love the idea of giving people the vision of what a space could be, especially a space that maybe is not easy to envision it. I love the idea.
Here's where I would put that and have done that is the appropriate place would be in the house itself. As you exit the backyard to go out to where you would put a pool, have an easel and have a you know, artist rendering of what you could do with the backyard while you're there, actually knowing with your eyes that these things don't exist.
We are hurting ourselves. We're hurting each other. We're not making ourselves look impressive that we can get an AI tool to create a big fake backyard in 3 seconds. And the funny thing is, like, some of them I'm seeing, like, I saw one listing. I wish I could remember what the address was, but it was one picture of the backyard with $1 million renovation. And then the next picture was that same backyard with another renovation that was $1 million, but for someone who wanted to be a gardener, not a pool. And then the next renovation was someone who wanted a patio. And it was like, okay, now we're actually turning into the people that own the house and someone's giving us ideas of what we could do with it. And the worst part about it is, guys, the worst one is that you're looking at a $500,000 house. What is the benefit in showing people $1 million renovation on a $500,000 listing? You're not helping anybody. And so it's not that I think we're getting out of hand. I think it's going to confuse the consumer. You're going to get how many phone calls? We're going to be complaining about the phone calls we get from the buyer that wants to go see the house that has the gorgeous pool and the gorgeous yard and the gorgeous, wait, in that backyard, they have a pool, they have a garden, they have a patio, and it's all in the same exact space. And they're going to literally be dumb enough to call you because that's what they're seeing. And they're like, oh my God, for $500,000, my dream house.
Yeah,
is anybody else seeing this?
This is the first that I've seen of this, guys, and probably the most misleading thing I've seen in real estate. It is.
I love you, Brian Rookstall. Look at Brian Rookstall.
How are you there, Adam?
Good to see you, buddy. Yeah. So, yeah, like it's getting out of hand. There you go. You're too handsome to be on camera. Get off camera.
Yeah, too much going on here, but that's crazy, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, like, what? Like, so great, Brian. Like, so Brian's not an agent, right? Brian's a mortgage dude, right? If you're the consumer looking to buy a house, how do you feel when you're looking through a listing and you're like, do we not know that the buyers, like when they're looking at listings, they don't think when they're scrolling through on their phone at work, what they're doing is stopping and looking at a movie theater and an indoor pool. By the way, you couldn't even legally put an indoor pool in that house. You would never be allowed to get away with that. There was no way, like there's no thought process put into it. And you're not helping anybody. Could I go any further with it? Like, Brian, consumer aspect. Give me the consumer thought on what you see. You can be open with us as the consumer right now.
It's, from what I see there, it just my level of expectations would be risen so much from seeing those pictures that like I'll be put out of the game a little bit. Like it's really disheartening that they're going to see that, they're going to get their hopes up, you know, for something that they think they can get. And honestly, whomever is doing this, unfortunately, this is going to cause so much more work for you guys because you're going to have to field the phone calls and then you have to explain to them. It's pretty criminal. I feel bad that it's
I love it. I love it. It is criminal, buddy. I love it. It's just, here's the thing. If we don't start talking about it now, it's going to get worse too, guys.
Yeah.
I got 20 people in the group today, right? The message needs to start getting out there that how we're using this technology needs to start with, is it personal? Is it me? Is it coming off as me? And is this person is this person going to see it as me, or are they going to just see that I saved myself time? And I know Jackie said this in the beginning. She put this in the comments. She said, first impressions. We all learn about first impressions. Like literally in every aspect of our life, we talk about first impressions, the most important thing we can do. We want to build a business building relationship with people. And the first impression is your immediate fake canned response. And by the way, I don't hate that Kim uses a canned response, and she uses it in a good way. When she's driving, I'll get a canned response that says, hey, I'm driving right now. I'll get back to you right away. Awesome. I love it. Use your AI technology to tell me something that is beneficial. That's fine, but we're not going to use AI canned responses in communication. This is your guys' time to give me your thoughts. I know there's a lot of people in the group. So anybody hear something today that has some thoughts about? Do we exhaust all thoughts, Kim?
Everyone fell asleep.
And like,
Thinking we should dig a pool. That's what I'm thinking right now.
I can take a picture of your backyard and show you what it would look like.
we're putting an indoor pool, baby.
Yeah.
I
just
agree with
kidding.
what Adam said, though. Adam, when you said about the expectations of what people are going to think that if they have a $500,000 home, now they're seeing renovations that are going to cost them so much money, it might deter them from even wanting to buy that house if they're afraid they're not going to be able to do the renovations.
And you know what? So, all right, we've already gone too far. It's funny because we started with, let me put a couch in that living room so that it looks like you can see that you can put a couch in a TV. I got no issues with that. I don't even have issues with putting people in pictures. Like, I've never even seen that. I don't know if you guys, I've never seen people in pictures, and I don't hate it. I actually don't hate it at all because you're not using your client's personal pictures of them actually in the hot tub, but you can show the lifestyle of what it's like to live in that house that's real. We can use it and it can be real, but we can also use it. It can be completely destroy the ability to sell that property because I actually think you're hurting selling that house. And so
just even thinking about like how many times have you, like I've had where, my photographer is really great. And then some of the feedback is like, oh, the photos were a little misleading because, the
lighting, whatever.
the angles he used, it wasn't as nice in person. Well, now that's a huge leap from like, okay, the photos were better than is in person. Well, how about the photos showed that it had all these amazing things and then you get there in person? Like that's so much.
I was going to say the same thing. I've walked into listings and the photos alone could be amazing. And my clients walk in and go, wow, this is not what it looks like. And then they put AI on it, which Adam is fine to kind of give it. But I think, and I don't know if they have to, if they do pick, it should be on the picture right there. Like it should
the
say,
funny thing is,
so I think I heard that there was new like regulations apparently where not only do you have to disclose like on it that this is AI, just like now when you put, videos on like the internet and stuff, you have to say like AI generated or whatever. But I had heard that for every AI photo in a listing, you have to then immediately pair it with the real photo so that back to back people see this is the fake, this is the real.
yeah, people move too fast. Like that one just had that too. It had the garage after, but no one looks at the garage. They're skipping past that picture.
No.
They're not even getting to that picture. The reality is what I'm hoping everybody's gathering here is that if you want to use it, it's still effort. It still takes time. You have to actually build up your ability to use it. But maintain that first impression, maintain the relationship you're having with the client and more importantly, the consumer. Like, how is the consumer viewing it? Like, I actually don't hate, like, if you have a $500,000 house, like, we just went too far. By the way, it's always been the real estate where you wanted to present the pictures in the most genuine, honest way. Like, it's funny that AI has not made that new. Whenever any listings go on the market, there's always a concern that the people are going to be disappointed that whatever because if you have a great photographer, that's the same as great AI sometimes. And so you've always had to be concerned that you don't want to disappoint the consumer when they get to the house. And so what are we doing? We're making it so we're actually really disappointing them now. Before it was, hey, it's not as bright as that picture was. The room's not as bright as it was in that picture. And now what we're saying is, where's the indoor pool? Like that's insane. Like you can actually, on a positive note, you could say, all right, here's a kitchen. Like Kim, she gets a listing that needs $1 million in renovation, right? It needs work done. And you know it. So it's a $500,000 house. And what's someone going to put into a $500,000 house? Maybe a $60,000 kitchen, $70,000. All right. So it's not the end of the world to show renderings of what a legitimate value kitchen would be put in that space and make it clear. I don't even hate that. But when you're literally, what is your answer to me when I ask you about it? You're like, oh, I wanted to get their attention. Well, that doesn't help sell the house. So, all right.
No, it just creates disappointment after the fact. So what
you have a listing appointment, but I already texted Melissa the address because you told me the address. So Melissa, just so you know, you can go out there and get that listing instead of Kim at 5:30 tonight. Don't worry, Kim. Melissa's going out to get it instead of you.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. I want to make sure I let you go because I don't want you to be late for the listing. I'll stick around if anybody has any thoughts or questions. I'm totally here. Or anything that were ahas. But the reality of what I want everybody to come out of today with is it's not that you shouldn't be using it. It's that you got to be intentional. You got to slow down and say, is this me? Does it sound like me? And actually get into it and not replace your spouse or your people, but get into it and talk to it. Make sure it knows who you are. That's the one message I wanted to get across. Kim, I love you. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Go get that listing and hopefully I have a buyer for it.
And then virtually stage it and add a pool. Got it. I'm on it.
I forgot to give my win, by the way. My win was I got to hang out with Ben Rock the other night. So I was really happy to hang out with Ben. And then, oh yeah, Lila too. That was it. Well, Lila and Ben, that's who I was excited to hang out with, not you. Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. I'll stick around. Does anybody have any thoughts on what we talked about? Is there anybody that has any questions?
Adam, I have some things to add because
yes, Stan. Thank you, my friend.
So, because I have been using AI for very long, probably a little over a year. But I have had some good coaches that have taught me how to go in and train it properly, that when I am speaking to it, that it's asking me questions back before it gives me the content.
Oh, I love that.
And then I've also uploaded, like I'm a certified mortgage advisor, so I uploaded my class book that I used, or that I needed during it. Got permission from the company and everything. Was able to upload it and use that towards some of my marketing. But then also I've uploaded, like I'll go in and they taught me how to, if there's a loan originator in the country that I've learned something from, a realtor that I've learned something from some of these podcasts, to make sure that their information is there, and you point to those different ones and say,
I love that you said this.
Talked about this. When we're doing something of this nature, make sure that you spotlight something like that. So
I love that you said this, my friend. So I think one way that I didn't talk about that you just hit home on is, like you said train. You have to train it, right? Yeah. You actually have to train it.
It's a constant training.
Yes, like at all times. And when it makes a mistake, you have to be. The good news is you're not going to insult it. You're not going to upset it. It's not going to be the assistant that's going to be upset because you're telling it over and over again. No, you're getting it wrong. Fix it, fix it, fix it. But you have to train it. What I gathered from what you were saying though is when you're training it, it's only about the content that you're putting into it that's going to give you the output that you want. And what I don't think people realize is how much content you can actually put into it. It's not just voicing your opinion. You literally can say, I literally put everything in it. Every time I speak, every time I do anything, every time I see something, you can add attachments. You can add things to it so it can gather the information and then give you a result or a response, whatever you want from it. So I put things into it. I don't know how much you guys are doing this, but you should be creating a library of things inside whatever tool you're using, because when you have the library, they're not seeking it, they're finding it from your stuff. I love that you said that. But training it is the critical thing, guys.
Here's the other thing is, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but I have it purposely taking up major real estate on my desktop.
I love that.
I do use it every day.
Yeah.
So
we have to, I use it every day, but I'll sit there and I'll say, you know what? I want to come up with some ideas around this, and I want it to be like this, and I'll just work with it like an assistant, not give me 5 things, cut, paste, and put it into on the Facebook or Instagram. No, work with it. Any other thoughts?
Adam, I have a
Brian, my friend.
question.
Yes. What do you got?
I just a general question. Is there
You're breaking up a little bit.
for oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Okay, no, I was just asking a quick question and see is there a AI platform that's better versus like for agents? I mean, I was just asking that because like my wife she works in the AI space and she has like it's like she's in legal field but they have their own proprietary like AI like so it's like very like specific but it's like all encompassing of
I think,
everything
yeah, I
like
think J&J has it. Jackie, I think J&J has a similar thing where they have a proprietary thing that they use it, but they have to use that specific platform. I don't know of one. Does anybody know of one that's real estate specific? I don't know of one. What I did gather from,
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, I don't know what people use. I mean,
Right.
it seems like everybody uses like a different one, or I don't know if there's like any one that's better than the other. I just wanted to get your
Yeah, I love
thoughts
that. Is
on
anybody
that.
using anything else other than ChatGPT and Claude that they can speak up to that they use regularly? Yeah.
I
Anybody
use
else?
Gemini.
Yeah, I have not
Gemini,
used
I
Gemini
think, is
at
great
all.
for pictures. I think sometimes it's better than chat for pictures.
I actually think the reason why I didn't mean to cut you off earlier, Brian, is that what Rebecca said earlier was really impactful on me because I had never thought about this, to be honest with you guys. I use basically one platform for all my communication and messaging, and I don't use it for visual stuff. So maybe that's why I don't use multiple platforms. But what Rebecca said really hit home with me, which is you need maybe 3 assistants. That what I'm saying to you, Brian, is maybe you need one for messaging and one for marketing. Like what Christy said, she uses Gemini and it's great for pictures. Well, you're not using ChatGPT for pictures, and so maybe for right now, it's just finding the one you need for that thing. And then, by the way, you can transfer all the information that's in ChatGPT. I can put it all into a different one because I put so much into it. All right, make sense? Oh, I got to donate money, Courtney. Damn it. That was the first time I did. By the way, just so you guys know, anytime I say makes sense, I donate money because I don't think that's something I should be saying to
The
somebody.
first one's free, so we'll just
Look at you.
call it a perfect session. And it's after 5, so really
It doesn't count.
doesn't count.
All right. Anybody else have any thoughts around this? Because I want to respect everybody's time too. So does there anybody have any thoughts? I really appreciate you guys being here and sticking with us. And I know it's, we talk about AI a lot in real estate, but I think the prompts and all the stuff, we'll leave that to other people. I want to just focus on keeping our true momentum around epic experiences. If I'm not plugging enough, I don't plug it all, but really the epic experience does not come from automated messaging and it doesn't come from canned responses. And you don't build a business of repeat and referral business by using fake. You can do it by connecting more with people and using it not fake. I hope you guys see that. Anybody have any questions?
No.
Cool. I will also say that we have now literally 12 states of people that have joined the Buyer Agency Pro group. If you love working with buyers, we're building a group. Then we literally meet 12 times a month. It's $59 a month to be in our group. And we literally spend 12 sessions a month talking about how we're building our buyer side of the client machine. So if you're interested at all you got to do is message me, find me on Instagram. I'm really easy to find. There's some people in the group now. And we're covering the country with people that love talking about buyers and want to make their buyer machine better. So if you're interested, I'd love to have you guys in that group.
It's
Thank
awesome.
you guys.
You should totally do it. And he didn't make me say that.
I love you. Christy, I love you. Thank you for saying that. I will see you guys. I don't know when the next session. Courtney, when's the next one? We'll get the messaging out. Courtney she probably doesn't even have it in front of her. I just threw it at her. I'll get you guys the messaging out for the next one. I'll see you guys next month.
Thank you.
Love you guys.